Yeah, I'd like to make a contribution to the Why You Shouldn't Be a Jehovah's Witness series. I've watched quite a few of them, and unless I missed them, one of them, nobody's mentioned their obsession with demons and Satan and things like that. And, well, one of the chief beliefs promoted by the Watchtower Society is that of objects which can be used by demons to influence and control people or harass them. This could be anything like furniture, clothing, household bric-a-brac, uh, books, records, eh, basically anything. They were told that any unusual occurrences or sensations or feelings that you experience are due to demonic influence. I'm going to give a couple of examples of this from the book Witnesses of Jehovah, a shocking expose of what witnesses really believe. On page 159, there's a experience from the author of this book while he was an elder in a Kingdom Hall at San Diego. He received a call from a woman who was studying with some witnesses in his congregation, and well, she had a pretty good collection of what's known as foo dogs, which are Chinese uh, dogs. They're kind of cool looking. Anyway, these witness women were encouraging her to destroy these pagan objects because they could attract demons. And she asked the elder what she should do about it. So he asked her, have you had any strange occurrences, like any rappings or voices or unusual things like that? She said, no. Then he says that, there had been cases of objects being used by demons to influence people, and when that happens, they encourage them to destroy the objects in order to break the spell. Since nothing happened, he just said to ignore them, which probably pissed them off. Because they really like to nitpick about everything, like that. Oh, they don't like that little statue you have on your fireplace. Demons, 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 demons. You know, and if they come over to your house and they're in a living room and you decide you have to go to the bathroom real quick, you better believe they'll be looking through your bookshelf, trying to find some books that shouldn't be there so they can go run snitch to the elders. Yeah. Anyway, back to the subject. How can anybody suggest that they destroy a valuable art collection? I mean, yeah, just because something looks creepy doesn't automatically mean it's demonic. Anyway, another thing they do is they teach the followers that anybody who opposes the Watchtower, or especially somebody from a witness family that kind of sees through the crap, and doesn't want to do it anymore, they're labeled demonized, when in fact they're actually learning how to think for themselves, which is quite evil in their eyes. Anyway, another one is, should a witness develop a nervous condition, the demons are immediately suspect. In their personal conversations and in literature and talks, in their books and everything else like that, the demons and Satan are published on a continual basis. I mean, there's only a handful of tracts that doesn't mention anything about Satan or demons, but those are few and far between. Nearly every publication, they throw the demons and Satan in there somewhere. And in the Watchtower Publications Index in 1986, there were approximately 5,000 references to Satan and demons, and it's grown since then. And psychologist Jerry Bergman, for many years a Jehovah's Witness himself, wrote a book called The Mental Health of Jehovah's Witnesses. in which he relates the following tragic story. One witness, who was very active in his congregation for many years, started to behave very strangely. The elders thought that furniture in his house was demonized, since he had brought it from the Salvation Army, so they began to burn pieces of his furniture in order to destroy this demonic influence. Eventually, they burned nearly every piece of furniture in his house, but the man showed no improvement. In fact, he was getting worse. The elders then started to burn the man's clothing and other possessions, including family portraits. Then, through Dr. Bergman's encouragement, they finally took him to the hospital after he lost about 99% of his property. But the doctor ordered tests where it was diagnosed that the patient had a brain tumor and would require immediate surgery. However, the man died. Maybe they should have took him, to medical attention first before they started, burning all his stuff. I don't know. It doesn't say in the story here whether he actually gave his permission for that, but be that as it may. And now for a few of my own personal experiences. In my family, Mom would she became a witness in 1972, and she would do this thing every once in a while called spiritual house cleaning. What was it really? Imagine, if you will, like a prison shakedown, where they just rifle through your cell and just turn everything upside down, look for stuff they didn't like, and then go have a bonfire with it. Yeah, my mom did that on a regular basis. Everything, man. Personal notes, journals, and every once in a while I'll score an AC/DC cassette, Off to the flames. The modern day auto da fe. Anyway, just about everything I owned eventually hit the burn barrel. And then one day, I was sitting there reading the newspaper. How you read an article on the front page, and you got to turn to page 2 to finish the rest of the article. So I promptly did that, and lo and behold, right next to the article I was reading was an article on the Gay Pride Parade. So, unbeknownst to me, my mom was sneaking up behind me, looking over my shoulder, and then turned around and just, don't need to be reading about the fags. And then took the paper away from me, balled it up, threw it in the wood stove, and proceeded to give me a lecture on the evils of homosexuality and its demonic influence, in between slaps, punches, and kicks. Kind of makes you wonder which one had the demon. Next, and there was one time that I was playing Pac-Man at this little frosty shop, and across the road there was a highway patrolman, that had his radar gun and his police radio and stuff. Anyway, I was playing Pac-Man, and guy got on his radio, and of course the Pac-Man machine picked up the radio transmission. So what we had was a voice coming through the Pac-Man machine. And my mom was just happening to sit there eating a hamburger, and guess what? A demon was in the Pac-Man machine, and therefore I was forbidden to ever play it again. I tried to explain it to her that, about radio interference, it happens every once in a while, but no, I wasn't listening to that. It was demons, all right, and she drove the point home with slaps, punches, and kicks. Then, a few years later, I inherited a couple of electric guitars. One my aunt gave me, and one I bought from working through the summer splitting firewood. You know how that goes. And I kept it in my bedroom, and the floor of the bedroom, it's kind of creaky. It didn't have a very good foundation on it. It was just built on rotten wooden piers. And, you step into the room in a certain way, the floor would shift. So my guitars were leaning up against the wall, you know, just pretty as you please. Mom stepped in there to do one of her spiritual house cleanings, and of course the floor shifted, and when it did, the guitars kind of shifted along the wall. And oh my God, they moved by themselves. Guess what happened to my guitars? Burn barrel. So I got even with her a while later, buying another guitar and learning how to play Black Sabbath. And my own ghostly encounters, you know, we moved from house to house, you know, and some of these were pretty old buildings, and yes, and some of them were haunted. And that's when I started researching paranormal phenomenon, you know, ghosts and stuff like that, and documenting my own experiences. And, you know, Mom found them journals, and I got the lecture about in Ecclesiastes, you know, the dead are conscious of nothing at all. And, well, I just wondered how many actual paranormal investigations King Solomon went on before reaching that wonderful conclusion. Probably none, if he even existed at all. Anyway, she found them journals, you know, where I was documenting all this stuff, and I got lectured again on the demons and Satan in between slaps, punches, and kicks. That's no way to raise your children. That is abuse, both physical and psychological. Because all this bombardment with this obsession with demons and Satan, it does nothing but make you paranoid as a parent, and it makes your children paranoid, not only of demons and Satan, but of you. You know, playing self-appointed prison guard, you know, shake down the shells and just burn everything they can get their hands on. That is no way to live, and that is no way to expect anybody else to live. And that's all I got to say about that. So, yeah, that is one big reason why you shouldn't be a Jehovah's Witness. Thank you for watching.